Hello everyone, and welcome to a different type of video today. Well, this time we're going to go through this live letter and just going to say what's going on and maybe put my thoughts on some things, and yeah, we're just going to get straight into it. I just want to say before we do get straight into it actually that I didn't come up with all this stuff was not by me. It was from this Final Fantasy Reddit Discord, and they do translations. I don't speak Japanese, I speak English, and I don't do that very well. So yeah, I'll link that below, and thank you to them. They are hard-working people. I will link it in the description below, the Discord link if you want to go check it out. I advise you to do so because they don't usually have translator people on for these live letters, I guess, so yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go straight into it. So we already know the name of the patch and all that. Echoes of a Fallen Star, which is 5.2. First thing Yoshi P decided he wanted to talk about before getting into everything was about how a game called Neo 2 created him as a character, and I guess he found that funny. I mean, I don't know what Neo 2 is. I think it's like a Dark Souls type game. I've never played it before. Or Neo 1, for example, I've never played. So, yeah, Yoshi P, you're now a character in a game. Don't go dying now, unless you want to die, then I guess you can, but whatever. Okay, so here you can see coming Tuesday, February 18th, which is 2 weeks from now. I'm sure that nobody thought it was actually coming out next week, but if they did, I'm sorry to tell you it's not. It's coming out 2 weeks from now. Or less than 2 weeks, I guess, because it's not Tuesday today, it's Wednesday or Thursday. I actually forgot what day it is. Doesn't really matter. So what they did after this was they actually showed the trailer off. Actually, I think they showed the trailer off first, but it doesn't really matter. And there's 2 pictures here from the trailer. I have a different video on the trailer breakdown and thoughts already, so go check that one out if you want to see the trailer and if you want to see my thoughts and breakdown on it. There's a little buzzing in the background for it, but it's pretty light, and I think there's some interesting things in there. Anyway, so here we have some sort of like birds as a boss. I guess they liked that boss from Gears of War, the final boss with like Krill going around the guys, so they decided to put that into the game. So he's a boss in the game. He comes from the raid, and that's actually raid armor, but you'll see that later. This, believe it or not, is actually Ramu. I think he's supposed to be like mixed with Ixion or something, they said later on. He's like a centaur. We'll get a better look at him later, but yeah, he looks pretty cool, and there's some other things to do with the raid that were in the trailer that I advise checking out. So after this, he started talking about mods and screenshots and third-party tools and stuff that you don't want to be using apparently. So this is where I'm going to have some different opinions with Yoshi P here as a raider and stuff, so excuse me for that. Don't worry, I'm not going to be disrespectful or anything. This is his game after all. But first off, he talks about people using mods to take loot screenshots, and he basically just goes around saying from like here up to here that he doesn't like people using them. And he thinks that in some countries it's going to be illegal. I don't know about that. I don't see the problem of using nude mods and taking screenshots with them. It's not something I'd ever do. But I can see where he's coming from with the illegal part. Because I'm guessing in places like Russia and stuff, they wouldn't want you to take screenshots of like 2 man-coties doing their business, if you know what I mean. Or in pretty much any country, I'm sure people who've never played this game would probably mistake Lalafels for children, and I need not explain where that's gonna go. So I can see where he's coming with this one. I don't really understand it. I think it shouldn't be so black and white. I think there should be some, like, if you look at it and see one like naked Rogadin, like it's whatever, and obviously other stuff you might want to like be a little bit more vigilant on, but I think some things are fine. But that's just me. Now here's the part where I have the most opinion on. He talks about third-party tools such as ACT and stuff, but then he goes and mentions, is Discord technically a third-party tool? I mean, I guess technically it is, but he basically just says it doesn't matter, it's voice chat. I don't know why he had to bring that up, because I'm sure... Well, I don't think it's him that brought it up. I think he brought it up because people were saying it. Anyone who's saying that, no, it's a voice chat. It doesn't really matter. You might as well be saying, is your phone banned from the game? Because you could be phoning someone to, like, give them strats, you know? It's stupid. Sorry to say, but it's not going to get you banned by using Discord. Now, we get into ACT here, which is parsing. Obviously, he says what he says every other time. Like, he doesn't want you to use it, but he's not going to do anything against it if you don't be a dick about it. Just don't go flaunting that you have it and stuff, and you'll be fine. And he's never going to add one into the game, which I guess I understand. It's a bit toxic, but I wouldn't say it turned everything toxic. I wouldn't go that far. And I still don't understand why a personal parser, as in one that just parses yourself, isn't in the game, because I would love that as a PS4 player. But I would also love colorblind assist, but they don't seem to be able to do that either. Anyway, and he basically says he'd rather have fun than efficiency, which I can respect. This is a casual MMO, and that's fine. I get it. I'm not going to go and harass or anything like that. I understand. Now, here is where some other stuff come in. He talks about other things that aren't specifically parsing that you can use for ACT. And one of them is moving markers around the mid-fight. This one, I don't see why that's an issue whatsoever, but he seems to not like it, and he's taking countermeasures against it, which we'll see down below. However, the next thing he mentions, which is this one, that one I completely agree on. I don't know if you've ever seen it, guys, but there's a thing going around where, like, for example, if you do Uwu, how there's Ifrit dashes, or Cruise Chaser with the limit cut, cleave and dashes, it will actually show you those AoEs, and you can just dodge them easily. I don't understand why that is, like, I don't know why people think they can get away from that. That is literally cheating. That's like basically Unger Max, but a plugin. It's just stupid. And the funny thing is the video that I saw of it, they fucking failed the mechanic anyway. I don't know how they managed to fail the mechanic when you see all the AoEs, but whatever, guys. Good job on that one. Now he goes and shows you the marker things. He says people place, I don't know what he means by place markers during a fight for dive bombs, but I do know what he means by placing markers during a fight, because we've used them before. I'm not going to beat around the bush there, we have used them before. And not me personally, because I'm on PS4, but our group has done it. And I still don't, I can understand a bit what it's going at. It is a little bit cheating, but I wouldn't say it's full-fledged. And they do address it and change it. So in 5.2, you won't be able to place markers during a fight at all. And you'll have 8 markers now. They add a 3 and a 4, as you can see here. 3 and 4. You can't see my mouse, but whatever. So that'll help a little bit. Now, the most important thing here is you can save presets for different encounters of markers. So if we go down here, you can see here that there's the 1, the 2, the A, B, C, and D. You can just place those, like you can click on your wee button here. It's in Japanese, I can't read Japanese, but you can click your button after it's been saved and it will put all the markers down on its own there. Basically what the plugin used to do anyway, but at the start of the fight only. And he mentions E3S because of the dash hitbox, which people used to put markers down where the dodge was minimum dodge radius. And also, if someone else puts them down, you can actually save their markers into your presets, so you could place them down at another time on your own, which is actually pretty cool. These changes are pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, they're all cool. I don't really like the fact that you're not allowed to place markers during a fight, but I understand if you're going to counter that mod, then you're going to have to do that. There ain't much you can do. However, in PvP you actually can place markers while in battle, which I guess is fine as PvP. they might as well have something after you took the words out for them. And they tried to use colours. Yeah, Yoshi-P, don't talk to me about colours, please. Just add the colorblind assistant to PS4 and then we can talk, alright? Okay. So you can only do it while out of combat. And that's his stance on all those things. Maybe I'm a little bit controversial there, I don't know, but that's all it is. So here is what's to come in patch 5.2. New main scenario, Beast Tribe, Qatari, focus on gathering. We already knew all this, but just in case you don't know, well, there it is. So Beast Tribe, Qatari, which are Kikern, but in the first. And they have a focus on gathering. It's a gathering only Beast Tribe, not a crafting only this time. Cutscenes are a bit longer this time, so if you plan on starting with MSQ, it might be better if you don't plan other content for that day. Well, I guess I'll have to split the MSQ in half because I usually try to go raid, the normal raid, then the trial if I can, but I couldn't do that in 4.2 because of the MSQ. Beast Tribe before reset, obviously. And then I usually do the MSQ last. That's what I usually like to do because it has my least look forward to content. And I do Savage with my static layer, but if I was pugging it, I'd probably do it earlier. However, I also like to craft all day as well, so I don't really mind. But that's just me. Maybe you might want to plan how you're going about your day, if that's what they're doing. New Chronicles of a New Era, The Sorrow of Were Lit. I believe that is the trials, the ruby weapon and stuff. And this here is the secret trial for the Relic. That's what that means, the Relic, for 5.25, which is, I assume, 7 weeks after 5.2, because that's what Eureka was, and I assume they're doing the same thing there. Okay, so, yeah, it's called Save the Queen, Blades of Gunhilder, which I don't really know if I pronounced that right, but it's got gun in the name, so you can assume that it is Gunbreaker related, which you already know because if you played Gunbreaker, you'll know what Gunhilder and the Bozja Citadel, all that is anyway. New dungeon is Anamnesis. I hate that word, by the way. Anamnesis Anider. And that's Ruby Weapon. So the name of the actual trial is called Cinder Drift, which sounds pretty cool, but people are just going to call it Ruby Weapon anyway. He's woke, by the way. And I don't even like memes, but still. The dungeon will be in the second half of the new MSQ, apparently, which I guess is okay. And here, this is where they say it. There's a sort of trial in the Relic, but they won't reveal what it is yet. These are just pictures from the dungeon. That's the outside. That's a boss. I called it a goblin in my trailer video, but it's clearly not a goblin. Oh, and the trial is extreme difficulty, although it's probably not called extreme. So you get 2 extreme difficult fights during 5.2, which is amazing for me because I love hard fights, which I guess extremes aren't that hard anymore, but still, I love those types of fights. I also want to say that it kind of reminds me of in A Realm Reborn, how you had to do those 2 trials, Chimera and Hydra, although they weren't exactly extreme difficulty. So that's pretty cool. New raid, of course, Eden's Verse. That looks like Leviathan, but we all know it's not because he was already used. It's Ramu. Job adjustments. He doesn't go into these because he doesn't want people to get too worried about the numbers and stuff before the stuff comes out. So you probably won't know what the job adjustments are until the very last moment. I don't think they're going to be that substantial for most classes. I'm pretty sure he only says a couple of jobs or even getting changes to begin with. And if there was a patch to have substantial changes, this would be the last one anyway. So if there's nothing in here, the rest of the patches are going to be, like, they will still have job adjustments, but they won't be massive or gameplay altering, I don't think. They weren't in Stormblood, and I'm pretty sure they weren't in Heavensward, but I didn't play for all of them, so. Okay, this is Ishgard Restoration update. Gathering in the Diadem. Yay. We all know how the Diadem is, but trust me, it's a little bit better than it was before. Now, Cupo of Fortune looks a little bit cool. It's like a tiny thing, but it's still pretty cool. Basically, expert recipes, ranking system. I've never been a fan of this when they announced it, but That's just me. It just sounds like crafter PvP to me, and I'm not a PvP fan at all. I could be wrong. I'm obviously going to dabble in it because I dabble in everything I can, apart from PvP, of course. But yeah, well, even then I dabble in it. These start in 5.21, which is 3 weeks after 5.2, so you have time to get everything you want done before this comes out, which is good for people who are busy with trials or Savage and stuff like I am, but don't know if it's good for other people. Apparently the recipes are going to be hard, but I don't know if they're saying that for PR or whatever, because there hasn't been a single hard recipe since 4.1, so I'm sorry about that. And the way they've done crafting, it doesn't seem like, they say like you're going to have to think each step, but the way they've done crafting already is there isn't much thinking available, even if you wanted to, or could. And they say they're going to cut even more actions out, so I don't know what that's going to be, but you can practice your crafting skills on basically dummy rotations, so you don't lose items. You know, maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong about that. Be prepared if you want to be, but we'll see. So, crafting system updates, Fishin updates. This Skysteel tools is actually crafting relic tools, which sounds weird, but that is a thing, and they talk about that much later, so watch out for that. Materia system changes, which is tiny, but they do talk about it. And ocean fishing, which is fishing updates, basically. So, Alliance raid quests will be added to New Game Plus if you wanted to watch all them cutscenes and stuff. I don't know, maybe you want to. I've not done New Game Plus at all yet, but it's there. Now this one's weird. Free company rank will be increased to 30, and each rank will give you more space in your company chest. That is bloody awesome. Do you want to know what the highest rank is now? I think it's like 8 or 6. All the way to 30? Like, holy hell, that's a lot. I guess we're going to have to do a lot of GC turn-ins, if you haven't already been doing them. Okay, so now he goes and previews the trial. Cinder Drift, here he is, he's got teeth. Knuckles, I don't know what they've done to you, but clearly you're no happy. And he actually goes into the fight on his wee Black Mage. Black Mage isn't very good for soloing, but he thinks he can. So he has something for you at the latter half of the battle, but we have to be heartless and not show in anything. I don't know, it's probably like a phase 2 or something. I don't know if that's just PR as well, but yeah. So they accidentally showed the Final Fantasy VII text box here, and we're like, oops. I think it's the Final Fantasy VII text box. I haven't played it in a while, but I also have another feeling about this, that it could be like a new UI theme. You know how you had the dark and light theme? Maybe a new one has been added. Could be, could also not be. I don't know. I don't know if it's just a reference to Final Fantasy VII because he is from Final Fantasy VII. There's another mechanic. The whirlwind is sucking you in, but if you get on these parts here, you'll be safe. Although I don't know why some of it's yellow. Maybe that has something to do with something too. There was another mechanic, but it was, it's not there. No spoilers, I guess. He wants to end it. He's like, I think my team will be angry at me now, I'm sorry. Because he didn't want you to be showing this Final Fantasy VII text box. So he's pure embarrassed. So the story for the Cinder Drift, and I guess the entire weapons quest line, is going to be tied to the backstory of Gaius Van Baelsar, which is pretty cool. I like that character. I think he's an awesome character. And he is called Gaius, so that's a cool name. Job adjustments. Now this gear here, I'm not entirely sure what it is. I'm thinking, if it's not gear that's already in the game, because it could be, but I'm thinking it's like this looks like Lakeland gear, but like the Crystarium gear, especially on the tank here, but I'm not sure. It could be from Anamnesis Anidir. Guess we'll have to see for that one. Won't be many job skin adjustments, like I said. Biggest change is Red Mage buff. Red Mage is the lowest DPS, and he's going to nerf Summoner dots. Now don't get too worried about it. We don't know how much they're doing because they deliberately didn't tell us. Could be that's all they're nerfing and Summoner will still be really strong, even if they just nerf the dots a tiny bit. Or it could be they nerf a fuck ton and Summoner turns back to being rubbish. Who knows? In addition to Red Mage's adjustments, Fléché is buffed, and the drop off for some spells will be removed too. I don't know what that last part means, but probably means something. Fléché being buffed, that's alright. Fléché is a strong move. And I'm really not a samurai player, but apparently it was hard to see Sam's meditation stacks, so if you're a samurai player, now you'll be able to see them. It'll be on the job UI, which is like the job gauge and stuff. And then there was PvP adjustments. I think there was another one that I forgot to copy and paste, but doesn't really matter, they're tiny. Ground for War, or Holmgang for War, will be adjusted. Monk will be adjusted, and Dance is too strong. Oh wow, never heard that one before. Apparently Dancer's too strong in PvP. Okay, so now they start showcasing the Qatari beast tribes, which is obviously going to be in Raktika. It will start explaining why we have not seen the Qatari so far, and he thinks that the beast tribe is interesting. I don't know why this is the screenshot, but that is the screenshot. This is the rewards. You can get cordials from here, which I thought was pretty cool. Cordials are useful. It'll be about the history of Raktika, and there will be a point where the player has to choose in which direction they want to go. I don't think that's going to be massive. Probably going to be similar to the end of Eureka, where it meant like absolutely nothing, and if you chose a certain path, spoiler alert, it ended up the same anyway, pretty much, which I thought was stupid, but whatever. Well, that's only if you did bad SNRs now. Of course, is the new mount. I'm not surprised. They embraced the memes. It's this stupid scree snake thing in a pot or whatever. Yeah, if you like it, there you go. I'm not surprised. It looks kind of cute, I guess. It's green. It's got eyes. Okay. They added a new course in the Leap of Faith. If you don't know what it is, it's a gold saucer gate. And the last one was jumping up the statue of Legaia in Thanalan. This one is the floating city of Nim. He tries to get through it, but he actually ends up fucking up and falling to his death, and so his Lalafell is permanently dead, and he has to create a new character, so try not to fall off, because that's what happens if you fall off. And there won't be any spoilers, so he's safe. Well, yeah, you're safe from spoilers, but your character's gone now, I'm sorry. Then a break happened. In the break they just showed something about Korean Fan Festival or something like that. I don't know, I kind of went away to do my own stuff at that point. Anyway, I don't know why this was a picture taken, but screw it, I'm just going to take this as the an excuse to say that the guy on the right there, I think his name's Foxcullen, he looks a bit like Guzma from Pokemon Sun and Moon, so yeah, he's Guzma now to me. That's not an insult, by the way. Guzma's awesome. So yeah, and that the guy on the left, that's Yoshi P, just in case you didn't know. So then they started talking about the raid. Now see, that doesn't look like Leviathan with like all the rain and the water and stuff, but it's not Leviathan because it's Ramuh, and that actually is Ramuh's battle arena, and the thunder, I guess, does show Ramuh. So they actually go into Ramuh's fight, and his music is awesome. It's pretty cool. Now he is flying, and he has a staff, so watch out for that. The arena kind of looks similar to Titans, as in it's in segments, but the segments aren't symmetrical. Well, they are symmetrical, but they aren't exactly the same all around. Like the middle squares are different from the far left and far right squares, well, the rectangles, but whatever. He says Ramuh combined with Ixion, and he also says if you're a veteran player and you hear thunder, you probably think of Ramuh, and if you started in Stormblood, the first thing that comes to mind might be Ixion. I don't know about that unless you bought jump potions, but alright. Maybe if you played Final Fantasy X first, that would be true though, because in Final Fantasy X there was no Ramuh, it was only Ixion. Obviously, they always design fight arenas based around mechanics, so like the arenas are always designed well on the floor, and he's basically alluding to that there when he says 6 panels on the side. Here he's putting down like 2 staffs. The big staff is going to explode, shown here. I don't know what the small staff does, maybe that marks the point of where the explosion goes to. Obviously I don't know. Now these orbs, okay, that's a blurry screenshot or whatever. These orbs are probably the same as in Ramu Extreme, where you have to pick up like 3 so you can survive the tank buster and stuff. So yeah, either that or that like Quetzalcoatl, where they give you a damage buff. And you bet I'll be gobbling them up like Pac-Man if they do give you a damage buff. I've got to put that red mage of mine's in my static to shame. So he almost shows something, but he fell down. I actually wasn't watching the stream at this point. I was looking at the Discord, so I don't know what they almost showed. But apparently they almost showed something. Probably like a unique mechanic. They say that the NPCs and the bosses are talking. Not surprised, they did in other fights. He doesn't know which fight this is. Like this could be E5 for all we know. Or it could be E8. We don't know. But Ramu is there. And he says maybe Garuda and Ifrit will appear in the same fight. I don't think that's true. I think he's trying to throw us off there, but maybe it is true. Maybe they're all in the same fight. If they are, that means even more room for unique fights. Yay! But if it's not true, then yeah. So Eden Gate was released on 5.0. So the adjustment of difficulty and HP was pretty low. Man, Titan's DPS on launch was not low, trust me man. It was actually kind of a tough DPS check on launch day, launch week, but yeah. He says that this will be more difficult than Eden's Gate. Well, I think they say the same thing for Sigmascape compared to Deltascape, and I disagree with that. I think Sigmascape was the easiest Savage tier we ever had, but still, that's what they say. Might be harder, might be easier. Guess we'll have to find out. Designers for the fights were all different from Eden's Gate. I hope that they keep some of the lessons they learned from Eden's Gate in there, because there was some good ones to be found. But also hope they take away the mistakes such as Titan's degrading difficulty. That needs to go. Although the way that they did the phase 2 and phase 3, that was cool, but I didn't like how it got easier. That was bad. It needs to either get harder or be like a hill where it's easy and then hard and then easy again. Just getting easier doesn't work, in my opinion. You may also see some new types of mechanics that are not typically seen elsewhere. Maybe. That's what they say, so that's all we gotta know. They think they were gonna go, oi, what the hell? Well, let me tell you that half the community goes like that for about everything, so don't worry, mate, don't worry. They were like that when the Titan went into a car. Okay, that one was actually kind of surprising. Anyway, they move on to ocean fishing next. They actually spent quite a while on this, but I decided there was a lot of things that were just like nothing. But yeah, Fisher exclusive content, obviously only Fisher can do it. Board at specific times, so you can actually only come here every 2 hours in real time, not in game time, real time. Receive experience and scripts, so that's cool. And meeting conditions, passengers may discover a ghost or spectral current and chance for a big haul. They actually didn't show that often here, but it's in the trailer. If you watch the trailer, there's like a part with a boat and some like ghostly, like fancy wee effects going around the side of the boat. That's what that was referring to. When you're done, you're basically saying they're trying to introduce more content you can do when you have no dailies, but you still got left time for your statics raid, which I can respect. Although I think this being on a 2 hour time limit might kind of fuck with that, but whatever. You can play this as any level fisher, which I think is cool. This here is basically showing you the 2 guys you're going to talk to get on the ships. There's actually 2 types of ships. Costa del Sol and Sea of the Dravanian Highlands. Yeah, that's what he says right there. Each route will have 3 fishing spots. Everyone will be moving from one to the next. So you're all on the same boat. It's going to move to 3 different spots. After like 7 minutes on one spot, it'll move to another. Then it'll do 3, and after that it'll probably redock and that'll be it done. If you get the ghost, the colour of the sea will change. I touched upon that earlier. He says he put a lot of effort into cutscenes, and one trip takes you around 30 minutes. Even though he says, I think like here, it says that 15 minutes, and it's like, okay, I don't really know what's going on here. 15 minutes to enter at the NPCs. When 24 people entered, the ship will leave. Maybe it means it's either 15 minutes or 24 people, so you wait 50 minutes. If you don't get 24, it's just going to leave without them. Or if you get 24, then it will leave as soon as you get 24. Maybe that's what it means. The wording might be a bit off here because the guy's obviously translating it on his own. It wasn't an official translation. You can queue as a party, so you can hold competitions in FC if you want. They just show you a menu that you can buy baits if you forgot to buy baits and repair materials and stuff, so that's cool. Now here's my note here. The new UI maybe, because this looks similar to the Final Fantasy VII one, but it's a little bit different now that I realise, and they do say it's unique, but who knows? Who knows? They don't mention it, but who knows? Might try to be keeping it secret. The more fish you catch, the more points you get, more points for HQ, you know, that's kind of self-explanatory. And they just take a screenshot of him about to take a wee dive in the water. No, he's just fishing really, but still. And then he took a screenshot of him catching a fish. So he caught a fish, by the way. If you look at the top right, you got 10 points for that fish. Time and weather influence fish. Basically the same as everywhere else. We're fishing. So there's actually a new fishing notification. This is new. Whenever you get fish, exclamation marks are going to appear on your head. So basically now we're playing Pokemon when we fish. So if you want to catch a shiny Magikarp, this is the game to go. Because it's in 3D and it's in good graphics. Apparently when they tested this with 24 people, everyone was super serious. Hardcore fishers. Now that's a word I never thought I'd ever say. Hardcore fishers. You can leave at any time if you want. By the end, all points will be added and I'll show who got the most points. You wouldn't be able to leave a fishing ship like this in real life. Well, yeah, you could. You can just jump and swim away if you wanted to. But we had to make it possible in-game. Well, yeah. No penalties if you leave, so that's alright. You can't skip the cutscenes, which, that's fine. 3 spots, 7 minutes per spot, said that earlier. And ocean fishing will be updated in future patches, which is cool. Yeah, overall, decent thing. I don't mind it. I think it'll be a fun thing to go and try out. I'm not a fan of fishing on its own, but it might be something to do. So here we have some fishing pictures that you can hang on your wall. They showed that off. And then they go into the raid gear and they show off every piece of raid gear. And I think some of this looks actually pretty cool. So here we have tank gear. It has a helmet, a shield and a sword. It has wee wings on the boots. This is Dragoon gear. Looks pretty cool. The spear looks a bit like Gridda's a wee bit. I think the armor looks alright, although I probably wouldn't wear the helmet. I don't know. Guess I'll have to see it on my character. This is Samurai and Monk gear. Oh, look, an eye patch. That's pretty cool. And it's on the right side. There's very rare right side eye patches, let me tell you that one. Why can't Dragoon have that? Actually, why can't Ninja have that? Ninja's the one I want that for. This is the Bard gear. This is probably my least favourite of them all, but it still looks pretty cool. It's got a crossbow. Is that a crossbow? Huh. It looks like machinist. This is Ninja. Okay, that looks funny because it's a Hrothgar. Oh, they do have the eye patch. Alright, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Might use that for my glam. Yeah, that's Ninja gear. They have a bit big pauldrons, but I don't know. They kind of choose a weird race to show off Ninja. But, yeah. This is healer gear. It's got frills here. It looks a bit like a maid or something. I actually like this gear. It looks pretty cool. That astrologian weapon. I don't know if the weapon's from Savage. Might be. Or it might just be an unrelated weapon. I'm not sure. And this is the caster gear. Actually, this... I don't know if this are the ranged one's my least favourite. Like, most of it's fine, but the helmet kind of looks dumb. It's a good thing I never wear the helmet anyway. They didn't even show off this helmet really well because it's on a Viera. It won't be every patch, but they'll try to make new content like ocean fishing. So basically, they'll want to make other content that isn't ocean fishing but similar to it. And then they show off crafted gear a tiny bit. This is a concept art. This is the this is gonna be the 480 crafted gear for ranged DPS. And then they have an actual picture for it. See, now this one looks pretty cool. Like, actually like this one. Looks like a train conductor. See, now you can conduct trains. Yeah, that's pretty cool, eh? Yeah, that's the only one they showed off. They didn't show off any other crafting gear, so yeah, don't know what they're gonna look like. This is Ishgard Restoration Update. That if you look down the bottom right, there's a Hrothgar and he has a funny face. I don't know why I wanted to point that out, but yeah. So he needs to be careful because there's already 5.3 stuff on this machine. It just shows how far ahead they are with making stuff. And in case you've never been to Ishgard Restoration before, this is the zone. Starting this patch, gatherers will be playing a more important role in this. Now, I didn't do Ishgard Restoration when it came out the first time because I was a bit burnt out on the game and I wanted to make sure I was saving myself for the Epic of Alexander prog instead of burning myself out on other rubbish. So I don't really know about all the fates and stuff, like this here talking about design mistakes with people from other worlds participating in fates on other servers. I don't know because I never got to experience that, but apparently there's a problem and they're going to stop that. There'll be more steps during the restoration, so there'll be more opportunities to take part in a fate. In case you were missing some before, which you probably were, I don't know. Okay, so here we go. This is the one piece of Japanese I know. So as you can see, it says here, Abalafea's Spine, the Diadem, Land of Eternal Pain. That's what that stands for, because Diadem is one of the worst zones in this entire game. I'm joking, of course, that's not what it says. And the way that they've done Diadem now, they basically have just said fuck it and made it stupid. And by that I mean it looks actually alright, apart from one thing. But we'll get to that. So they show off a sheep mount. Okay, it's kind of small, but I mean it's a sheep, what do you expect? It's a sheep, it's a lost lamb. That's the mount that you get. He tried to go get a node, but it apparently didn't appear, so I guess it was a bug that they're gonna have to fix. Mobs don't aggro you, which is... See, when you did Diadem before, if you were on your own, you were dead if a single mob aggroed you, unless you managed to run away. It was stupid. You were basically forced to be in an 8-man party. I didn't like it. Some materials will be specifically needed for the restoration. So, Ishgard Restoration, you'll need to come here. You have no choice. So when you gather stuff, you have this gauge that will fill up, and you can use it to kill mobs. It's basically a limit break. Let me tell you, it's a limit break, alright. Okay, that's a bad picture, but basically, you will see it in the trailer as well. Oh, what do you think they do? Do you think they go up there and hit with their pickaxe or something? Or do you think they go out and get a rocket launcher and blow it up? Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, a miner or a fisher just pure whipping out a rocket launcher. Alright, calm the hell down. Machinists aren't even that strong. What the hell? But anyway, yeah, once you gather stuff, you can fire your, well, they call it a laser cannon, but just means a rocket launcher. And you can get materials from blowing people up. Well, yeah, I don't doubt it, man. You get wood and stuff from blowing up things. That doesn't really make sense, but still. You need to be level 17 to enter. So basically, it's Sistasha level. Actually, that's level roulette level or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. You have to be level 17 gatherer to enter. And there will be XP in here. And you can cloudfish as well, but yeah. So, I'm not really sure what it's shown off here. It's supposed to be like a Ronkin mount. But it's kind of hidden. The screenshots aren't great here, but I don't blame them. There's a lot of movement going around. And this is the one part I don't like. Anyone who knows me knows I absolutely despise Dalmales. I think they look like malnourished, skinned giraffes. And honestly, it's more pitiful than anything. Poor things. But unfortunately, that is now a mount. And I did say a couple of times that I would leave this game if they ever made that as a mount. Unfortunately, that was a joke, so I'm not leaving this game. Sorry. Yeah, you can get all these mounts. All three of them are probably from Ishgard Restoration, including the Dalmail, which I hate. So then they show off Couple of Fortune. That's a weird name, but they do. What it is basically a lottery. If you choose the left one, you can't get the first prize, and you can't get the last prize, but the chances for these three in the middle are even higher. So you've got to basically gamble. Do you want to try and get all of them, or do you want to try and get only one of the ones in the middle but not the top prize? That's basically all you've got to choose. If you see here, 75, 30, 45, 0, 0. But then one of the ones on the right, not an equal chance, but a chance for everything. And yeah, every time you go in there, the rewards change. So basically, the rewards won't always be a bag of cats, an orchestra roll, materia, a table, and another bag of cats. It could be something different, such as an emote, like the eating bread emote. This is comes from the magic prisms, which are called bag of cats, and well, that's what it is. I'm sure that absolutely no one will be using that, unfortunately. Palace of the Dead kind of screwed everyone on that. And this is the eating bread emote. It's kind of hard to convey in a picture, but well, you eat bread. And then they show off a new glamour item, like the rebel coat type. Just one they always add every patch. I could have sworn this type of gear was already in the game, but apparently it's not, so they added it again. I'm sure everyone will be going after that glamour, so wear it if you want. I think it looks alright. I doubt I'll ever wear it myself, but yeah. So Ishgard Restoration is coming 3 weeks after 5.2, including Diadem. So no, Diadem will not be part of the 480 crafted gear, just in case you were wondering, for a launch day Savage gear making. So now they talk about the relics for crafters, Sky Steel tools, and they just show off all the glams that they had before. Basically, let's see, it's basically a relic, goes up after every patch, begins with a quest in the broom, crafter gatherers, specified items to enhance these tools, enlist the aid of Sky Steel manufacturer. I don't know why they said the last part, but yeah. Story behind this: blueprints of historical legendary tools were found. How can they be used to help the restoration of Ishgard? Stats will not be better than a fully modded crafter tool yet, so basically it's like a relic where it'll be less than a fully modded crafter tool until the very end, and then it'll be better, which is usually how it is for normal relics. So yeah, there's a tool for every crafter and gatherer basically, so it'll take some time to get them, and this is showing a few of them off. I think most of them look a bit basic, but I kind of like the frying pan with the dragon on it. I think that one looks pretty cool. It might have an effect if you keep upgrading it, so basically in later patches it's going to have an effect, a different effect, like a flash, which these ones clearly don't have. So now we're talking about the real relics, the weapon relics. This will be in 5.25. They don't give a release date, but I'm still holding it to be 7 weeks after 5.2 launch. Could be wrong, but could be right too. They're basically just saying it's a relic and you'll do it every patch. Okay, so here is where they actually tell us what it's all about. Join in the resistance and free Bosnia from the rule of Legatus Noah van Gabranth of the 4th Imperial region. If you've done the Evilise questline, you'll know exactly who that is, and if you haven't, go do it because you're going to need to do it to unlock it. Also, I guess if you've done Gunbreaker quests, you'll know some of it as well. In my trailer, I put out a theory that could have explained something in one of the trailer parts that related to this, so you might want to check that out as well. It lasts like 2 seconds, that part of the video, but still. It's going to be interesting to see if I'm right or not, but yeah. As you can see, players must first complete Return to Evilise quest. Now, the explanation they give regarding Legatus and its 4th Imperial Legion is left fade because they don't want to give him information. That was in the stream, of course. 5.25 will focus on a story, and there will be a boss, which is the extreme trial they mentioned earlier. And if you finish everything, you'll get the base weapon. So basically, This has got to be the easiest first step ever. You just go and do a wee trial and you get your weapon, which is like, okay, so do that 17 times and you've got all your base weapons. All you have to do now is finish the scenario. In 5.35, they'll add another instance, basically a Eureka-like instance, which is like its own place where you do your own things, your own leveling, separate from everything else, and you can build up your weapon there. Now, they don't want you to think of it as another Eureka, but it is influenced by it. Which, okay, so I hope they've actually learned lessons from Eureka, because there was a lot of lessons to learn from that place, because there was a lot bad done, but a few really good things done in there. So please have learned your lessons from there. I'll always be giving you a chance, but god damn it, Eureka was so disappointing, and it was annoying because there's so much potential in it, but by the time they even got to the good potential part, they still done fucked it up. Like with Baldesian Arsenal, which they talk about here. Like, Baldesian Arsenal was good, but everything surrounding it was bad. It's like having a cookie inside a block of dirt, you know? It's not nice. They did mention that there will be a Baldesian Arsenal like thing in probably in like 5.55, but yeah, hopefully they actually do what they say and take out only the fun elements of that place. Oh, and then they spent like 20 years talking about an umbrella, so I'm just going to give you the TLDR. There's an umbrella in the game, you can equip it, it makes your character not wet, and it's for basically RP and glam purposes. Also, it's basically counted as a mount, so you can't attack or anything in it. So yeah, that's what that is. So yeah, and then they finally talk about, basically now they say if you can spirit bond a piece of gear, before or now it would destroy it and give you materia, but now they're going to make it that when you spirit bond a piece of materia, it will give you the materia, but it won't destroy the item, it will just reset the spirit bond. This is good for me and probably most people, because when you're leveling, you'll have gear that you want to get rid of, but it's all spirit bond, so you have a choice of either spirit bond or desynth. Now you can do both, or you could just farm one piece of gear and keep spirit bonding it for materia, which is good for crafting and gathering materia. Basically, I don't understand this too much, but they say sell your materia, demi materia, and I don't really like this because demi materia is one of the few things which made crafting and gathering more connected, like with desynthing and all that, and I thought that was a pretty cool thing. But if demi materia has gone away, then desynth values just went down exponentially, unfortunately. But yes, sell your demi materia. What's confusing about it is, I don't know if they mean Mastercraft, Fieldcraft, Battlecraft, or demo material of the Inferno and stuff like that. I don't know if they mean all of it, or if they just mean specific ones, or if they just mean clear demo material. I don't know. They don't really mention. And that's all they say about 5.2. So if you wanted to know about certain other things, unfortunately it's not in here. Apparently they didn't have time for the crafting skills, although I think they probably should have put the crafting skills a higher priority than umbrellas, but whatever, that's just me. And then they just announced some stuff, so I'll go over this, but this is usually where I would tune out myself if I was just watching this on my own. So, fan festivals, they announced them all. If you're in America, there's one in San Diego, wherever that is, California. If you know where that is, then you can go there. If you don't know where that is, like me, then you can't go there until you do. November the 6th and November the 7th, 2020. Same here, Japan, Nagoya. Again, same deal, I don't know where that is, but it's in Japan, so yeah. And it just tells you dates. Now I know where this one is because it's in my bloody country, pretty much. Or a country down, technically, but London, which as far as I know is the first time a fan fest has actually been in the UK and not in a different part of Europe. Maybe next time I'll be in Edinburgh. Oh, I can get to that one if I had the money anyway. Anyway, if you just want to go to these places, they're going to say that the tickets will be announced a bit later, so watch out about that. And they say that the venues are going to be bigger than other times, although the Tokyo Olympics is kind of screwed with them in Japan, but they still managed to find a good place apparently. Then they mentioned that there's a 5.2 patch note reading in Tuesday, February the 18th. Basically patch day, that's when patch comes out. I don't know what time that is, 1500 JST, but I'm sure somebody will. And basically, if you can't read Japanese, there's no point watching that. I'm sorry to say. PAX East, if you're in America, you can go fight Ruby Weapon and get his wee t-shirt and stuff. That's one of those con things I've never been to before. Okay, there's not a 24-hour maintenance for 5.2, which is good. Less time waiting. It's probably going to be like a 6-hour or an 8-hour patch time, which is pretty cool. So if you get this art book that's coming out in May 2020, you get a fat cat minion with I can't remember her name, but she's that fat cat, like one of the only 2 fat cats in the entire game, Fat McCoy's, and he's holding that her husband because she's a bit cruel to him, poor guy, and it costs £30 if you want it. So they say the server's going to go down noon around Japan, so 6-hour maintenance maybe. Here is some voting thing. I don't really know what this is, but basically, yeah, the voting period ends on Tuesday. Okay, this is a Japanese thing, so I have no idea what that is. And if you go to Japan, you can find this hotel, and basically, you can live in Ilmeg for a day, or a day or two, or a week, I don't know. It's a Ilmeg themed hotel room. And then they show you one of the glasses you can get there, or mugs. Okay, so this picture isn't the greatest one, there was another one. But if you want to know what those are beavers. If you've ever done the Pixie Beast Tribe Quest, the beavers. The Primals concert in Tokyo is coming out in that day and that day. I don't know what that is. 15th of the next month and the 14th next month. I think the Primals are pretty cool, so if you're in Japan to go see that, go see it. And he said he wasn't specific, but please just sell the demo material you have. We're changing the price on those, so I guess just sell them. And then he says, couldn't touch on GPOs updates. You can save lightning presets if you liked. I don't really do GPOs, so I'm sure someone knows what it means. And they didn't get into high-end crafting or action changes for the crafting gathering, which I mentioned before. And that is it. After that, they say bye, and that's it done. So, yeah. Some interesting things here. Nothing too out of the ordinary for a live letter once we've already known everything, but there was some surprising things, mostly in the trailer. It was pretty alright. I still think they probably should have put the crafting thing at higher priority than Umbrella, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a huge glamour person, so maybe that's why. I just don't think there was that much to explain about an Umbrella that they had to use that much time for, but yeah. Either way, 2 weeks from now we can go get our hands on patch 5.2 and hope you have fun with it. So thank you for tuning into my wee reading of these patch notes. That's not what they were, it was a live letter, and having my wee opinion on some of the stuff. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a good day, good patch day when it comes out, and goodbye.